All right. Hello, welcome back to the Football Rundown. Hopefully everyone's doing well. We are here with the pre-match live countdown to kick off for Stockport County versus Barnsley. Obviously, it's a 12:30 kick-off. We just need to change a couple of things up here as well because I'm a little bit caught off guard with this one. 12:30 kick-off, say, not for everyone. So bear with me a sec. Okay. So obviously Stockport County versus Barnsley. Obviously, the first one was a draw back at the end of September, if I remember correctly. I did actually go, so I should remember it. Some interesting team news has come in, obviously, around 15 minutes ago. There was a debut for one of our deadline day signings, which has kind of caught me off guard. It's kind of surprised me, if I'm being completely honest. Let's get the team news here. So I think it's just a one change, I think it is, from our win against Leyton Orient last weekend. And that is Macaulay Salvin-Hales dropping out. He's actually not on the bench whatsoever. So completely out of the matchday squad, Salvin-Hales, which inevitably brings question marks whether or not he is injured, which is obviously not what we want to hear. If that is the case, I'm guessing we'll hear more about that post-match. But obviously you would think his record of late, or his record throughout his career, and then him being dropped out, he's either been rested for minutes, and because we now have the options of bringing in other players, or there is something injury related there, and hopefully it is just resting that player. But let's be honest, it doesn't look great for him. And obviously Dave Chalmers will speak afterwards, and we'll get a bit more insight as to what that's all about. But yeah, interesting. Like I say, we do have a debut for one of those deadline day signings, and that is Brad Hills, which is of course the Norwich centre-back, which came on loan on deadline day. So it's an interesting one. Certainly, if I was going to say that a player was going to debut from deadline day, it certainly wouldn't have been him. I would have looked at Moxon being a more likely candidate for that, for being picked in the starting 11. So it does go Ben Hinchcliffe in goal, Noyle, I presume at right back or right wing back, depending on how you look at it. Callum Connolly, Ethan Pye, and Brad Hills. Ibi Toure at left wing back. Louis Spate in midfield, back with the captain's armband as well. Will Collar, Oliver Norwood, and then of course we have Tanto Alafi and Cal Wootton up front, depending on how you look at it. Like I say, the way we've been playing recently, that can it can be a three at the back or five at the back, but it can also be a 4-2-3-1 with obviously, as we saw last week, Noyle sort of going to sort of right back and Salvin-Hales pushing up. But I think, to be fair, with the shape we're going with today and Salvin-Hales dropping out, I struggle to see where we can throw a right winger forward in that formation. Could Noyle do it? Could someone go to right back? Possibly, but I think it is probably going to be a lot more of a settled back five in this game today because of that change. I think if we were to change formation during the game, we'd have to do it through a substitution. So we do lose maybe a little bit of flexibility in our play by not having those options of Noyle and Salvin-Hales down the right-hand side. But we'll just see. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? At least we'll get to see what Brad Hills is all about early on. Like I say, it's not one I would have expected to have seen happen as early as this. I thought maybe an odd cameo off the bench, but yeah, it seems that he's going to get his first start. And as I say, the bench does make interesting read as well, because Owen Moxon does get his opportunity on the bench. I expect he'll get a couple of minutes off that bench today if the game's going our way. Adai, Diamond, Moxon, Andresen, Rydell, Bailey and Hamilton all available as options off the bench. Rydell's obviously had a bit of an interesting time recently. He looks like he was getting a couple more minutes. For whatever reason, he seems to have sort of gone out the limelight a little bit for Chowan. And we know this can happen with some of his players, though. So maybe he's got an opportunity to get back in at some point. But I just think it's a case of Ibi Toure's been so strong at the back, and why would you go with Rydell when when you're getting the kind of performances that you're getting from Ibi Toure week in, week out? At this point in time, as I say, Connolly stepped up. We know about that. It's not that different, really, the team from how it has been. But I somehow look at it differently, just because we don't have, as I say, we don't have those options down the right side. We don't know what we're going to get from Brad Hills in that centre half position. We don't know how much we can sort of change between a sort of as I say, five at the back and then going back to a four like we played predominantly in the first half at Orient last week. So it'll be interesting to see what he's like as a player. As I say, we brought him in. It sounds like it's a deal that we've been trying to throughout the window. So, and then actually before the window, it sounded like it's something that we were looking at maybe try to do in August. So, with that being the case, we've obviously done our research on Hills. Hopefully, he can come in and have a strong start to life at County. As I say, these loan players, they don't have long to to hit the ground running because they are literally just 6 months loans. So they've got to come in and make an impact straight away, I think. And it can be very difficult when you come in January. I mean, look at Reece Bennett last season. He came in January, had a couple of bad games, and was never seen again. So you do have to hit the ground running when you come in on loan in January. And like I say, the one thing he has got behind him is that successful loan spell at Accrington last season. But other than that, he's had his minutes spared in first team football for Norwich so far this season. So it's a little bit of a surprise to see him thrown in at the deep end, but I can only imagine it is to do with an injury, related issue with Southam Hales, and hopefully, if that is the case, it's not going to be one that keeps them out for too long. Because if there's anyone that deserves to not sort of have an injury in this squad, it's probably Southam Hales, particularly with those performances he's putting of late as well. So hopefully, it does look like it's going to be injury, but hopefully it's not. Rest of the team, like I say, unchanged. So it's kind of more or less of the same, really. But as I say, we do have that slightly less flexibility, in my opinion. Will we see Tanto go to the left in this shape? Maybe we'll see Collar go to the right, and maybe one of those defenders step in to midfield. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to look, so that'll be interesting. But I think it's a strong bench as well. I think a couple of weeks ago, maybe we were sort of saying, is this bench, what are the options off the bench? I think we've got a strong bench. You've got Anderson, who can hopefully score goals if given the opportunity. You've got Diamond and Hamilton, and Bailey. That's 3 or 4 attacking options there. You've got Rydell, who can come on should he need to for a bit more, to throw a bit more down the left hand side. Moxon, obviously with his quality, but we're hoping to see very soon, and that experience he has of playing and being promoted in League One, hopefully shining through in this team in the next sort of 6 months. Button's back among the goals with his first goal since his first league goal since November anyway, last weekend. So hopefully he's feeling a bit more confident going into this one. It's just Tanto really that I feel maybe comes into it, not fully at his most confident, and hopefully he can have an early impact and get himself a goal. And I think if that was to happen, then I think it'll do him the world of good. I do think that in this game, if County score early on, and we sort of start well, we start strong, I think Barnsley could be a tough afternoon for them, because they're not in great form of late. I think they've lost each of the last 4 games, so they'll be down in confidence. They'll be looking to try and make this a difficult game for us, try and keep the score down, I think, for as long as they can. And that's why I think getting an early goal, completely dampen their plans, and as I say, force them to come out at us. And we're very, very good on the transition. So I think that's probably our best way to win the game. I want to see us win it quite comfortably, but I did say in the preview that it could be a tougher test than maybe the league table has it look. They are just, I think, they're 10th in the table at this point in time. They're trying to cling on almost at this point in time into staying in the top half of the table, when they were probably hoping to have more of a promotion battle, or certainly a playoff battle at this point in the season. But look, things can turn around very quickly as well. They're not a million miles away from the playoffs either. It's just the way that the points are in that area of the table. Remember, they're so close. I mean, a lot of positions. Let's just have a quick look at the league table. I had it somewhere. These 12:30 kickoffs, not prepared for it. Not prepared for it. So they're 10th in the table on 43 points. They're only a point off the playoffs. Let's be real here. Obviously 7 points off County, but they're still within that playoff battle. There's no doubt about that. It's just the points are so close. I mean, as I say, they're on 43, but a couple of teams behind them in the bottom half of the table. If they win their games, they'll go just a point or 2 behind. So it's one of those with Barnsley. They can go either way at this point in time. They're very close to the playoffs, but as I say, it's very tight in the area of the table. That's why I'm happy that County have put it, starting to put a little bit of distance between themselves and the teams behind them on 50 points, and hopefully we can get another win and continue to put that sort of gap between us, because we want to be in the playoffs this season. There's a debate about whether or not we're ready to go up this season, and I think it's a fair debate. There's a debate about whether or not we even want to go up, because would we be ready next season to be competing in the Championship? Probably not. But certainly one thing we do want to do is try and finish as high up the table as possible. And if we can finish in the playoffs, which is the aim, it'll be great experience going into next season either way. So what we want to do is want to put a load of points between us and not really get caught up in a playoff battle late on in the season. I mean, it's not a hell of a lot of games to go, is there? I think there's just sort of 17 games to go, 16 maybe after this one. So we're coming to almost the sort of like last sort of 10, 15 games of the season before you know it. And if we can sort of have the last couple of games be a little bit more comfortable, and that's in the ideal world, then we can maybe see a little bit more from the likes of Benoni, Brecky Anderson, and maybe some of the other younger players which we brought in of late. Obviously, we brought one in from Rangers, I think it was. I was reading yesterday. I think it was Thursday. I think it actually happened. I was probably meant to talk about it in the preview, and it just missed it with when I did it. So we'll find out what that's all about. But yeah, I mean, it's only the one change, but sometimes those one changes can make the team look very different. As I say, we don't have the same balance down that right hand side maybe now without having Noyle and Savamales as a sort of duo. With County, obviously, I'm just guessing people are seeing about Simon Wilson as well being appointed the club's new chief executive officer. How that's going to affect his role as a director of football will be interesting. I'm guessing we'll probably look to appoint a new director of football at some point. Not anytime soon, but maybe look to sort of take the share responsibility. He'll obviously be taking a lot more responsibility in the club now, won't he? So this is what I wanted to talk about dead quick, because I did miss it in the preview. And this did come in on Thursday, so it's not news to anyone really. But of course, County signed the young forward Arian Allen, I want to say. And he joins the Emerging Talents programme after a spell with Rangers. 17 years old, signed an 18-month pro contract at Edgeley Park. So, like I'm saying, if County can finish the season strongly and be in comfortable positions, he might get the odd opportunity off the bench, and then from there we can see what he's about. And he's got 18 months to prove himself, and let's see what happens. But it's not something to focus on massively at this point in time. It is a young signing. It was not one I put a massive amount of pressure on. But look, Benoni's not even getting minutes in the team at this point in time, so he's way down the pecking order in terms of minutes in League One. But yeah, I think most people are probably busy getting ready for the game. To be fair, for this 12:30 kick-off, I do expect a County win. I went with 2-1 in the preview. I'm not massively moved away from that. In fact, I'm not moved away from it at all. I'll still go with my 2-1 County prediction. And we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. As I say, we will be going live with the match reaction afterwards, straight after the full-time whistle at Edgeley Park. Be reacting to it. Obviously, no vlog today, but I will be going to Bristol Rovers on Tuesday night, and I've got a couple more vlogs coming up over the next couple of weeks. But this one, I thought I'll sit out, save a bit of money for those away games coming up. So yeah, like I say, we will be going live, full-time whistle, match reaction. Hopefully you'll see a couple of people in there with their opinions, and hopefully it'll be a Stockport County win that we'll be celebrating, another couple of points on the board, and hopefully a couple of goals. It'd be nice to see Wootton get another goal, and it'd be nice to see Tanto Laffy getting on the score sheet as well. So let's see what happens. Very much looking forward to this one. It's a big game for County in the sense that we need to keep that momentum going. So as the thumbnail says, keep the run going. Hope we do that, and hopefully I'll see you guys at the full-time whistle. As I say, hopefully it'll be a County win, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the chat for that one later on, about 2:20 at full-time whistle. So keep your eyes up for that one, and thanks for watching.